Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Scott Stringham. Most people call me Scott. I'm a certified emotion code, body code practitioner. I'm here every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time live. So if you want to come in and make a comment or have me work on you, that's what we normally do at this time. And you're certainly welcome to do so. So just leave a comment if you'd like to do that. But today we have something special because one thing a lot of people don't know about is that this modality that we do, the emotion code and the body code, is useful on animals, including your pets. So we have an expert on using this modality on your pets with us today. So I'm going to bring Holly in here. So Holly is a motion code practitioner. Hi, Holly. How are you doing?
Hello, good to be here, Scott. Thank you.
And where are you located?
I am in the lovely state of Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
and just outside of the capital city, Madison.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this work?
About 2 years now, two and a half years. Yes. So
Okay.
yes, I heard about the emotion code just kind of through the grapevine, and actually, I got the book for a physical therapist friend of mine. I thought that she would be able to really incorporate it beautifully into her practice. And she actually said she wasn't interested. I said, "Well, okay, I'm going to read the book. I'm going to see what I think of it. The things that I've heard have been good." And I got partway through, and I thought, okay, this is it. I'm going to become a certified practitioner. I don't think you can see it because it's off screen, but I do have the book right here. It might be showing up backwards. I'm not sure.
No, it was forward.
Oh, was it forward? Okay, good.
All right, and tell us about working with animals. Is that all you do? Is work with animals, or how did you get into that? How did you find out about it that you even could?
It was something that Dr. Brad mentioned in the book. And actually, I believe the story was that he was working on a horse who had become very sad, and I do a pun kind of down in the mouth. And um, he did an emotion code on the horse, and it turned out that the horse was having emotions because it had seen a baby bird drop out of a nest and fall to the ground and pass away. And the horse felt very helpless to help this little baby. And so it was harboring these emotions from it. So that's sort of the story that really was the genesis for my realizing that I can also use this with animals. And then I have been a dog lover since forever. And my dad always had hound dogs, beagles, and so are um, those are kind of my favorite, just because I've got this connection from my childhood with them, and so rescuing hound dogs is something that I do. We have a couple, and when you're working with an animal that's been lost and come through the rescue system, whether it be a dog or a cat or a horse or birds or sadly, animals tend to get passed around a lot, and so they can't tell their story. And so being able to use the emotion code with them helps them to get over some of their fears or harboring some of the difficulties that they've been through.
So give me like three or four types of issues that come up when you typically work with an animal. That'll give people an idea of whether this is something that they can do for their own animal. So what kind of things?
Yeah, so a lot of it, the people have a tendency to experience a behavior that is unwanted. So it could be animals reacting aggressively or unfriendly towards visitors in the home, or maybe they have a concern about their animal with their child. They don't want the cat to scratch or the dog to jump on the child or what have you. And that, or sometimes they will have, animals that are chewing, and they're adult animals. It's not like you have a puppy that's just going through puppy stages, or, little kittens or something. And so that, or for example, our conversation earlier, you'd worked with an animal that had recently had a surgery.
Right.
And so we have that. There's also animals that I've worked with that their original owner had passed away. And so sometimes this person goes off to the hospital, they die at the hospital, and they just never come back. And then suddenly all of the animals are dispersed to different homes, and the animal is actually worried about the animals that they used to live with. I've also worked with animals that had come from abusive homes, and there were children in that home, and they have a worry about the children that were there. They want to know that the children are okay. So it's when I'm working with an animal, I know that they can't use words to tell me the way a person could, but they have the same kinds of emotions that we do.
Hmm. So how do you, when people contact you and say, I want you to work on my pet for me? Is that what happens?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Yes. So right. So there's actually two ways. Sometimes it's the pet and the worry about the pet, or maybe the pet is having ill health and going through treatments for it, and so they want to make sure that the pet is um, kind of understanding or realizing that the person is doing this with love. And so sometimes the genesis is that the person is concerned about their pet, and then other times the person is having issues with, things that we have issues with, maybe career difficulties or relationship, personal people relationship difficulties. And then when we get around to who else is in the house and do you have a pet, then a lot of times I'll ask to say, how is your pet handling this? Um, Sometimes you have that the person is now dating someone and it's a new person to date. And so the pet can be a little jealous, or um, so partly jealous, or in many ways kind of protective of their person, especially if there was a breakup before. They don't, it's so they have this attachment to people,
Hmm.
and so they can take on their feelings too.
Yeah, I had one once early in my practice where a guy, he was a construction worker, big guy, powerful man. And I'd been friends with him for a while, and he contacted me because his Jack Russell Terrier was hiding under the bed and wouldn't come out. And he was very concerned because he knew this dog was near end of life. His vet had told him he was very old for that type of dog, and he thought he was crawling under the bed to die. And what do I do? And he won't come out. And so I worked on him remotely, and we're on the phone. And I'm saying, is the dog in the room with you? And he said, yes. And so I connected with the dog energetically, and I pulled out the emotion code chart, which is here, which lists a bunch of all the emotions. And the one that came up for this dog is worry. And it's on there somewhere. There it is, worry right there. See, there's anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, and worry. So I identified using muscle testing that this dog had worry. And I asked, are you worried about you're about to make your transition? And I got no. Are you worried about yourself? No. Are you worried about your owner? Yes. He was worried about what was going to happen to his owner after he transitioned. And we cleared the worry. And this guy he tells everybody the story. I cleared the worry from the dog, and within 15 seconds, the dog comes out from under the bed, had been under there for days, came out under the bed and jumped in the guy's lap. And
Oh,
and he was so impressed. He took 3 days off from his business, his construction business, and spent 3 days with the dog. They went to the mall and got their photo portrait taken. They went to the park and played with all his favorite toys and all that kind of stuff. It was crazy. And then on the third day, he took him to the vet, and the vet said, "Yeah, it's time," and they put him to sleep on the third day.
yeah.
It was, just a incredible story about how this works with animals. And
Hmm.
And if you want to have any work done on your animals, so you heard, I'm working with an animal who had surgery recently, a broken leg, and has to wear that one of those collars, and it's very uncomfortable and frustrating. So I'm working with her. And if you have an issue with yours, you can just go on my website right there on the screen, balanceharmonyjoy.com, and you can click to make an appointment. And I have a 15-minute sessions. They're called inventories. You can make one of those, and we can just talk about it and see if this is something that would be right for your pet, or you can just go right ahead and make an appointment. A 25-minute appointment is usually quite sufficient for a pet. They're usually not as complex with a lot more issues than we do. Is that kind of the way you do it, Holly? The same way?
Yeah, they do. They kind of just want to get in and get out. And
Yeah.
and they do usually only have like maybe 2 or 3 issues, maybe a little bit more if somebody's undergoing treatments or something like that. But uh, their emotions are deep, but not necessarily as complex.
Good. Yep. And what's your website in case anybody wants to contact you?
Yeah, so I'm going to see if this can show up. I'm at Get Feeling Better.
Oh, Get Feeling Better. That's great.
Get Feeling Better, because that's what I think our ultimate goal is we just want to get feeling better. And so Holly Pitas, and so you can find me at getfeelingbetter.com, and I'm also on Facebook, and so easy to get a hold of. And I've got some things happening on Instagram and also YouTube. So yeah, sort of the whole gamut. If you find me on one, you'll find me on the others.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anything else that you think we might have left out here? We don't have anybody who wants to step forward today and work on their animal, but this is normally the time where we can actually give somebody an actual session. So don't have any volunteers so far. So, but please contact us if you'd like to. So
Yes.
anything we can add in?
Yeah, I guess just, the one thing, people I think so often think about themselves, and they make the appointment for themselves and something that they're going through. But, they're in the center of a lot of other people and including their animals. And so as they have issues that may come up for themselves, the beauty of the emotion code or the body code sessions can help to just spread out through other people. So their personal relationships, their work relationships, relationships with their children, their own sibling relationships, and then also including their animals. Because when we have our animals within our homes and things, they are just such a part of the family. But then there are also, working animals like working horses, working farm animals, race horses. They all have their bucket of emotions. And if we can help them with that, I'm certainly happy to do so.
Okay, great. So we'll finish up for today. Thanks for joining us. Maybe we'll have you again sometime and see if we can do that. And yeah, and we'll do an Instagram too. We'll do an Instagram live and see if that flushes anybody out of the bushes and wants to have their animals worked on. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, you bet. Take care. Have a great day. And great day, everybody. I'm here every Wednesday at noon. Come on live. See you later.